Welcome, local sports journal nation. Once again, high school football playoffs are here. We're here at Coach Mike Taylor's house, sitting here with Scott DeCam. And the camera's got the best side of Coach, his backside, so we're happy about that.
That won't change.
And we're here to talk about high school football playoffs and something we started just, 9 weeks ago, the local sports journal. High school football preview section. Coach, give us your 2-second review.
Of the local sport journal edition, it's the finest
year.
one you have ever put together. It is a tremendous compilation of every school in the area, and it is by far your finest work.
Thanks, Coach. Well, I tell you what, it wouldn't happen without this guy here. Scott, how much fun was it putting this together?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I felt bad afterwards, though not about the product. The product was great. I thought it was really good. It was a lot of fun putting it together. You take a lot of pride in that kind of stuff, but I felt bad because we had the old SI jinx for these kids. Andrew Williamson, the Grand Haven kid there, he got hurt early in the season, if not before the season. Missed the whole season, pretty much. Peyton Babbitt, the Orchard View quarterback, got hurt in the first game. He came back, but
I was there.
It's like, man, I mean, hopefully the rest of these kids.
Yeah,
there you go.
Well, I did wear my Babbitt hat. Mr. Babbitt, I had to give a little shout out to you tonight. You made your way back, and you guys finished the season. That was a miracle pullout, wasn't it?
Wow.
Down 34-13 with 11 minutes left in the game. We had Brendan Bowen there shooting the video.
When you look at that game, would you say it was more of a breakdown that Shelby had, or was it more of an explosive OV team?
Looking at the video, you can't deny the explosiveness. For the remind me who had the 75-yard touchdown, but to get that, Peyton made that pass, and they go 75 yards and score.
With how much time?
Under a minute.
13 seconds left, I think, is when they actually scored that.
Yeah.
Well, they pulled them within one, and then they had to go for two because their kicker, Xander Randall, got hurt early in the game, so they might have gone for two anyway, but they had to go for two because they didn't have another kicker to kick PATs. So they're like, we'll go for two and go for the win, and they won.
Yeah.
So and that's something the listening audience had no clue of, though, is that the kicker was hurt.
Right.
They
had to go for two.
They're rolling the dice going for two, but no, that wasn't the case.
It was Spears, Xavier Spears, who scored that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, touchdown. I think he had the 2-point conversion.
That might have been the play of the year.
Might have been.
But about that question you're asking about how much, I think you asked that actually, how much of that was, how much of that is Orchard View, how much is Shelby? Usually when you got that big of a deficit to overcome, it's usually a little bit of both, it seems like. It's the team coming back, but it seems like the team that's ahead might have to do a few things to open the door a little bit.
Were you surprised at that point in time in the game and limited plays that he had the ball, considering how many playmakers they've got on that team?
I know.
They've got two of the best in the area, and they didn't have the ball.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting in itself. If I'm just listening and I hear with 15 seconds left, an OV player goes 75 yards, you know what? That's not the young man I'm thinking has the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You're thinking Kamari Reese.
Absolutely.
Reese, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Or Babbitt. He's had some nice long runs too.
He's had some big runs.
Yeah. And I'm saying and money time, you put the ball in your money players.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. It's very interesting.
It hurt they didn't make the playoffs, but hey, like we were talking earlier, they had a hope to make it. And if they hadn't won that game, they'd have no hope. And at least they got to go into Selection Sunday thinking, hey, we got a hope. And I think that's the cool thing about Selection Sunday is teams have a hope to make the playoffs. Even Mesquite Catholic coming in at 3-5, they had hopes. Because that's how bad these kids want to make the playoffs.
But that's the system.
Yeah.
That's the system that the coaches voted on, a few years back. And I didn't like it when they came up with it. I don't like it now. And it's for reasons like that.
Yeah.
Okay? It's for reasons like that. You can go, win 3 games. And depending on how tough your schedule is, you can make the playoffs.
Right. That's true.
So
every other sport in MHSA, everyone gets in the postseason. I realize football is a different animal.
It is a different
in a lot of
animal.
ways, but
yeah,
I'd totally be in favor of what we've discussed before with when we talked about this off camera before.
8 weeks.
The 8-game regular segular season schedule, and
Yeah.
everyone gets
Everyone
in the
gets
playoffs.
in.
Week 9 is the first round of the
Yeah.
playoffs.
And maybe-
Single elimination.
Do you allow teams to opt out if they can't compete, or do you say no, you got to play? I mean, in the playoffs, that is. What do you say?
I just think that's a great way to go. And I said that 6 years ago or 5 years ago, whenever they came up with this idea. Yeah. And now you see people that have stronger programs don't want to give the opportunity for somebody that is below them to knock them off. So they will not play them.
So what do they have to gain, I guess, right?
They have nothing to gain from playing a team that they're not going to get points from, whether they win or lose. Look at Warren D. LaSalle. Okay? 3 wins. Okay? But they played a tough schedule, so they get enough points regardless of not just the wins and losses, but how many points did they lose by? Okay? That's another thing you need to take into consideration. You know, if you lose by 2 or 3 points, okay, that's but when you lose by 30 or more, okay, you don't deserve to get
And that's
points.
not taken into consideration at all in the current system.
Not at all. Not at all. So there's too many flaws for it, and I don't like, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer in this system. I don't like it.
Well, they're all going to be making decisions each year, and they're going to figure it out eventually. But we're going to have fun this season. We know that.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, and nothing is perfect, right?
That's right.
It's a cliche, but nothing's perfect.
Make the best of what you got.
Football. How about football in our area as a overall, Scott? You know, you grew up here, Ravenna. You're local. You grew up, Jason, in this area.
Yeah.
You guys have seen football, been around it since you were kids. Okay, I'm a transplant, so I came up here to coach, and I've known about Muskegon football from coaching college ball and recruiting. But you know, we talk about the talent pool and the talent level, and I will say this: never have I seen football, okay, across the state, varsity football played with so many 9th and 10th graders on the varsity roster. Okay, I don't think that's good. I mean, I think that parents, you know, I'd be curious to talk to a couple parents, you know, and see how they feel when their 9th graders playing varsity football and they're not physically where you really want them to be, strength and conditioning and talent-wise.
Let's rewind. You talked about we grew up here, and so we grew up in the heyday, right? It seems like it.
Yep.
You know, late 80s, early 90s football, there was just some incredible things that happened. You know, you had the Mud Bowl,
Yep.
Catholic and Ravenna. You know, Muskegon football, obviously, we know who they are and the tradition that they bring to the table. It's not like that anymore. And now Catholic is, you look at Catholic and, you know, they got freshmen and like you said, Coach,
And how many
the
are
game's
playing-
evolving.
I'm really young.
The
And
game's
look at how
evolving.
many schools are playing without a JV program, a freshman program. Okay, and we're not talking about just the smaller schools. We're talking about Grand Haven, you know, a few years back.
Right.
You know, so it's not just about the smaller schools. It's everybody.
But hey, it's, you know what it comes down to, and this is what I really believe is, you know, you look at Orchard View, just not very long ago, they didn't have a varsity team. Okay, and now they're on the edge of the playoffs. And so it's a culture thing, and it's kind of the leader's responsibility to get these kids to buy in, and they got to buy in early. You know, we just did a story in our magazine about Fruitport volleyball. I know this is way off topic, but Nicole Bale, Dan Potts, only 2 coaches since 1991, and they get their little kids buying into the system. It's a culture thing, so the culture's changing. And
Look at Western Michigan Christian, which obviously,
Yeah.
you know, your dad's legendary coach there, and
yeah,
I mean, he was coach there for how long? But since then, how many coaches have they had there?
right.
I mean, but I'm just
Several.
speaking to the
Yeah.
continuity that you
Right.
have, or lack of continuity.
It goes through these shifts. And do I think these schools that are showing the 9th graders playing on the varsity is going to stay? Well, it just depends on how's the culture going to embrace this game. When it comes down to it, nuts and bolts, to me, football is the greatest game because it is a team sport. Every person has their role. Every person has their assignment, and they all rely on each other to be successful. And that's why I have absolutely fallen in love with football. I didn't get to play football when I was a kid. I was a basketball kid. I was a baseball kid. We didn't have football. at my school. And but as I've been in with the local sports journal and starting at the Muskegon Chronicle and getting exposed to this, football is, to me, the greatest team
How
sport.
important is it in your minds? Again, I got 34 years of coaching.
Right.
I'm asking you guys, how important do you think it is to have your head football coach or basketball coach in that building? And again, remember, what is added to the program for each coach that you get in that building, also?
It makes all the difference in the world, in my mind, because you're there. You're not showing up at practice at 3 o'clock or whatever, putting out fires right away. You're helping, the kids see you as a presence in the building. I mean, I haven't been in a lot of school buildings this year. I've been in a few as far as during the school day, but like Orchard View, for instance, because I did a video for them, on some different things. But just seeing Aaron James interact with the kids at lunchtime or in the hallways or whatever, making sure they're doing the right things, making sure they're carrying themselves to a certain standard.
At school.
Yeah.
Right, at
Cody
school.
Cater at Reese Puffer. I see him in the lunchroom. When I've been there a handful of times, Cody Cater's there in the lunchroom.
Right. And again, I say that because it's a trickle down effect from the administration. Okay? It's all stems from the philosophy of your school district. Okay? Let's take a look at the Big Reds. Okay? How many of their coaches on their varsity program are in the school district, in the buildings?
I couldn't answer that question.
There are a lot.
Yeah.
Okay? When you look at compared to other schools,
Yeah.
they believe in having their coaches visible and in the building and with the kids.
Yeah.
Okay? It makes a tremendous difference. Okay? Whether it's monitoring, recruiting, the contact, everything that has to do with that child, there's a coach at every corner.
Yeah.
And
building.
it's setting a standard too. You're like, this is the way we behave. This is the way we conduct ourselves in class, in the lunchroom, everywhere. And that's not just football. That's life. You need people who are teaching life lessons throughout the
It's called being structured for success.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like, okay, I'm going to be teaching a computer class, okay, as a teacher. How many computers do I have in the classroom? None. Oh, this is going to turn out real good. You know what I mean? This is going to turn out real good, okay? You need to be structured for success. And I remember when I moved up here, my very first question in the interview was, am I going to be in the building that I'm coaching? Because if I'm not, I want no part of it.
Right.
I'm not structured for success. I don't want any part of it. Oh, no, you're going to be in the building.
Yeah.
Okay? Boom. We start 2-a-days. Halfway through week 1, I get called in. Guess what? You're not going to be in the building.
It's tough.
It's unbelievable.
It's like having no
It's
computers in your
unbelievable.
classroom.
It's like teaching driver's ed without a car. Okay?
Yeah.
And I just say that. So we look at each school in our greater Muskegon area, and we look at how they're structured and from the top to the bottom. And when we look at it as a whole, are they trying to get the Band-Aid fix out of the coach? Or are they really structured for success? Okay, and that's what I think that's what you need to look at as far as getting kids out, buying into the system. The parents need to advocate for, and you need to look at the structure, of the product, and say, are we really structured for success? So ask yourself, and when you go to different schools, ask the head coach, how many are you in the building? Do you have any assistants in the building? It'll be interesting.
I think one of my favorite stories is, Jake Gantola,
Yep.
Ravenna kid, and State Farm guy, big supporter of the LSJ.
Yep.
Went to Ravenna. And I think when Dusty Fairfield came out of retirement, because Dusty was in the school, I think he put a football in Jake's locker as a sign, hey, I'm going to coach next year. Jake goes to all those guys, and they are absolutely stoked. Does that happen if Dusty's not in the room?
No.
If he's not in the school? Is he able to come in and put a football in his locker?
Right.
Probably he couldn't do that.
And that's
Not
all I'm
today.
saying.
Yeah.
People.
The coach's presence in the school is key. And there's, I think it'd be a hard argument to win if you tried to argue against it.
Well, again,
It's a good formula.
Are you structured for success?
Yeah.
And I want the odds in my favor.
Right.
Okay. If I'm going in and my name's going to be at the top, I want to know how I'm being supported.
Yeah.
Okay. And to the point where, okay, I can get you good teachers. Okay. And I can get you, you know, football coach is nothing but somebody that's a good teacher that teaches the sport.
Yeah.
Okay. So if that's the case, let's find a place for him in the building. Okay. Let's find a place for him in the building where I don't care if it's the lunchrooms, the detention centers, or whatever. Okay. Because if you look, Muskegon's got people in the weight rooms. You know, they got people that are student aides or teacher aides.
Yeah.
You know, and along that line, and get some grant money and plug it in and let's go. But that's a question I have. So
No, and I know, you know, back to Orchard View real quick. I know they didn't make the playoffs; they just missed it.
Gosh.
But they were 5-4.
I saw comments saying, "Hey, we're good again."
Well, yeah, and
I love that.
I'm a fan of Aaron James. I really believe in him and what he does, and I think it's about changing that culture.
he's good for kids.
And it's also about Orchard View keeping its kids in the district. You're not going to keep them all, but keep most of them because they've just been losing kids left and right in recent years to different schools, and they need to keep those kids there. And I think hopefully if he keeps building that he can keep a lot of those kids there.
Yeah, and again,
School
lately
of
in
choice
Muskegon,
changed it. You know.
and again, lately we've seen a couple kids jump schools in our area.
Oh yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, it's hard to blame them too.
Forever. Kids are gonna, you know,
I can see
as
if they
long
want-
as they have parents, kids are gonna be moving schools, and we get it.
Well, they see it as other or better opportunities.
Opportunities
is when they see it.
and you know, it is. That's what makes high school sports so much fun, is because it's an opportunity, and we get it, and these opportunities bring legends. They bring legends to the playing fields, and that's what I love about high school sports. Is these kids come in and they do things that are they're phenomenal, and you honor these kids, and people will be talking about them for decades after. About one that's been easy on our list is Cam Gunzel up at Ludington. I mean, that kid's a legend now. You know, what he's done this season, you know, thrown for over 2,000 yards. He's rushed over 1,000 yards. He's been involved in close to 50 touchdowns, if not more. How are you going to forget about someone like that?
Well, the bigger thing is he has an opportunity now to play on Saturdays.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
And get a college education. And you know, work towards a career.
Yeah.
And so that's great that he's taking care of the opportunity presented him to make the best of himself right now. And he's, again, when you get a player like that on your team, he's like a magnet. Okay, everybody wants to come out and play with him.
They want to be around him.
Everybody that can catch a football wants to run a pass pattern for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, someone near and dear to him, obviously his dad, the head coach, Charlie Gunzel. Talk about a guy who's had some ups and downs there coaching at Ludington. It's his 22nd and final season. But, I mean, look at this year. They're 9-0. He just got his 100th career win. He just got the Detroit Lions Coach of the Week award. So, I mean, he's going, regardless of what they do in the playoffs, he's going out on pretty darn good terms.
It doesn't get any better with you go out with your son like that. You know, with a scholarship athlete. Your son's a scholarship athlete.
By the way, going to the school where he also played,
Absolutely.
where Charlie played,
His alma mater.
where he was a
Absolutely.
quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm happy for him, happy for his son. And again, Jake Plumunden, who, you know, was another athlete up there about 5 years ago. Tremendous job of going up to Ferris and playing and what he accomplished with the national championship. So Ludington's put some kids out. You know, they put some kids out there, and Coach Gunzel's son is going to be another one.
Yeah.
You know, keep your eye on him because he's not just a very good quarterback, he's a very good athlete.
Right.
So, I mean, he can compete for a number of positions at the next level.
It's my understanding that they really like him on defense. I really like him on defense. I know that. Like, he is a very good quarterback.
Well, you
very
look
good
at
dual
his
threat.
numbers, you know, it's easy to talk about his offense, but I mean, every week he's right at the top for tackles.
He just comes up and smacks people too.
Both sides of
He's
the
like a
ball.
safety type position, rover back, wherever you want to call it, the old school rover back, where he just comes up and makes plays. They give him that freedom to do that.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into this, guys. We're here to talk about playoff football.
Yep.
And we have, 11 teams in the postseason of the LSJ's 27 teams that we highlighted in this book here. Coach, I appreciate the props on this. This was a team effort putting this together, this book, 14th one that we've done. And this year I gotta brag because we had all the rosters. That meant a lot to me to get all these names. And the coaches followed through on that. I know, Scott, you never looked at this, right?
Oh, I hadn't seen it
Who was
yet.
the first coach to get it in?
To get their rosters
Yeah.
into us, I think it was Gunzel. Yeah, but then Greg had to type them up. And
who was the
he
last?
texted him. It was 14er. Shelby. I'm texting him, Coach, you're the last one.
I bet he'll be first next year. Hey, making the playoffs, he'll be first next year.
But no, the coaches are so great that they work with us every week. I mean, Koziak sending his stats. You know, Shane is sending us his stats. You know, I mean, David Smith each week. You know, to do that leaderboard, and I think those leaderboards are exciting and they're important.
They're phenomenal.
You know, I had a kid from Mason County Central text me last Saturday, and I said, "Hey, I think I'm a touchdown short." I said, really? You know, well, I want to make sure, you know, send me your lines and I'll make sure it's the right stats. He said, actually, you know what? I was looking at the wrong one. I was missing I was on the receiving and it was a rushing one. I'm all good.
And he's like, Dave, come get your player.
No,
I'm just kidding. I know Dave, so
yeah.
I said it. No offense to the kid.
But I mean, it matters to them. Is my point? Is that they're looking at it, and that's what we want. We're doing this for these kids.
That's
you know,
the
and
goal.
we want it for the parents and the fans. But at the end of the day, the kids are the ones busting their butts.
The recognition and making, I mean, there's so many football fans out here in our area. And anytime you can put that kind of information out there, it is just absorbed by many.
They're eating it up, and it's not just the
Yes.
players, not
And
just
guess
their
what?
parents.
I mean, it's breeding new life because now we got volleyball.
Yeah, you can't put enough of that stuff out there.
The volleyball coaches came to me and said, "Hey, we want to do a list." Now I got a good friend of mine, Travis Rosema. He wants to do the basketball leaderboard.
But
this year.
that kind of what doing those leaderboards harkens back to the old Chronicle days. That was
We had a
great.
leaderboard
Who
for
didn't love
every
that?
sport.
Who didn't love seeing that?
Yes.
I mean, it was great.
Oh, and it's followed.
Yeah.
It's followed. You just don't have a clue because, you know, there's no way of knowing. Right. But people talk about it.
They do.
They talk about it.
Well, we love that.
All right, division,
Where do we start? At the bottom or the top?
your call.
Let's go Division II. Why not?
All
It's
right.
right here on my
Yeah,
screen.
I
Make
mean-
it easier.
Well, it's the biggest game every year for the county of Muskegon.
And it's a rematch always.
It's a rematch.
Yep.
And it's Muskegon versus Mona Shores. Muskegon coming in at 6-3. Mona Shores 5-4. Obviously, the Big Reds, they beat Mona Shores during the regular season at Mona Shores. This game is going to be at Muskegon. They have the home field advantage. I mean, this is a community game. We love it. But you get to take all the marbles. You get to take it all with you after this game. I mean, aside from the excitement is obviously there. What's your thoughts going into this game, Scott?
I mean, last time, 28-12, Muskegon won that one.
Yep.
October 3rd, week 6, I believe that was.
Yeah.
It was the Lamar Bradford show. He rushed for 230-ish or 240 yards, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
All 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's just had a day, and he's had a huge season. The thing with him is because he's not a real big kid. He just needs to stay healthy. He stays healthy, man. That team, that offense is dangerous. But it's you gotta you're kind of looking. I don't want to say I'm looking for more of the same, but you got to make Muskegon the favorite in this. They're at home. They won the first matchup by a couple scores, and not that Shores can't win. Obviously they can.
Absolutely.
They're also extremely well coached, and they're not short on talent either. They've definitely got some pieces. They just need to, if they could put it all together on that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Lamar Bradford had a big night last time they played week 6. And I was talking to a few people today, and they're healthy. I mean, Muskegon's very healthy right now, and their focus has been on the playoffs, and now they're here. And going to have at least 2 home games, is exciting for them because they only had, I believe, 3 games at home for the season.
Yeah.
Okay, so having maybe a couple home games now is really big to the kids and the Big Red family. So
Yeah, let me read this to you. Sorry for cutting you off, Coach, but let me just read this to you real quick. You look at, you don't want to look too far, but we can because we're doing a podcast. We can look as far ahead as we want.
Right.
Whoever wins that game, how far can they go? Because they get the winner of Traverse City Central, Traverse City West. Waiting in the region is someone potentially like Portage Central or Byron Center. Tough matchup. I know Muskegon beat Byron Center. Shores lost to Byron Center. Portage Central's 9-0. And then, but also furthermore, if you go a step further, Orchard Lake St. Mary's is on this side of the bracket. They're not on the other side like they usually are. They're on the same side of the bracket. So that's a potential semifinal matchup. And to me, I don't know what else, everyone seems to think St. Mary's is probably the favorite. And I wouldn't doubt it because they were loaded last year, and I think they're loaded again this year.
yeah, they've done a great job this year over there too. Again, I look at, there's a couple things that are some intangibles here that I think are interesting to look at. One, you got Montrell Dockery, who I think is a phenomenal coach. I think he's a great teacher. And not only that, but he's got Brent White back. Okay? And anytime you get somebody like Brent White to come back into the program, after how many years was he a coordinator?
Right.
Yeah, and now he's assisting the coordinator. So you got a pretty strong combination. It's like having Saban and Belichick together again. It's a pretty unique situation, and the kids are very fortunate to have two people like that.
You think Saban would join North Carolina staff and help his buddy, or what?
Saban has an attitude problem. No, he's got an attitude problem, and his ego is tremendous. But I just think that if all things considered right now, that the Big Reds definitely would be the favorite going into this game, and it's just going to be a matter of Mona Shores has to travel over to Hackley, and can they protect the football and not turn it over, and the best way to beat Muskegon is keep the ball away from them.
I'm curious too with the quarterback thing because I understand that I think it was Terpstra that played quarterback this last week for Shores, and they have Joe Thole there as well. Are they going to go back to Thole because he's been the starter all year? Are they going to try Terpstra, give him maybe a little bit of spark? Are they going to use both? What's going to happen there with that?
Good point. That's a very good point. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right. So we're going on to Division 4.
Correct.
Ludington, Big Rapids. Ludington goes in there at a incredible 9-0, and Big Rapids comes in at 8-1. I think they lost week 9.
Week 8, I
Or maybe
believe,
it was
but it
week
was to
8, yeah.
Coopersville, a common opponent.
And I think Ludington had a pretty good way with Coopersville, right?
They won
1?
41-13 or 40-13 at Coopersville.
Yeah. So, and it's at Ludington.
And I'm going up there to cover that.
And you're going to cover
you know what
it.
that means. I'm going to Ludington. You know where I'm going before.
Coach, let's ask Coach, do you know where he's going up in Ludington?
No, I'm going for dinner before that game, right?
the
There's
game,
plenty of
yes.
options there, but
Lots of options.
to me, there's only one option.
Yeah, it's a 90s thing. 80s and 90s things for us.
It's a throwback.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about my birthday party.
No ponies, Coach.
Right. I just think everything. I talked to a gentleman today up in Ludington, and that community is so excited.
Yeah.
About where the team. You know what it reminds me of? What, was it a year or two ago? They had the very good basketball team.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
With the prolific score, broke all the school records, and it's
Metzger, or what was his name?
No, it's David. Why am I forgetting his
Yeah.
name? I'm getting old, that's why.
But it was like
He's a
it's like
legend.
that right now. And
he set the scoring record.
Gunzel's on
Yeah.
the farewell tour up there as a coach, and everything has just fallen into
The parade's coming.
Yeah,
They're all going to be there.
Wait till you see the crowd at that game. That will be like a regional final
Yes.
game.
David Schillinger.
Schillinger, yes.
I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but
Yeah.
again, getting old.
And they're going to have the buffet from Ponderosa. That's where he's going.
That's where I'm going.
Pondo
Attaboy, show them what you're made of.
That's right.
Show them what you're made of.
When you go to Ludington, you got to go to Pondo Pit because
Is that bathroom pretty close at Ludington football field? Okay, no
it's like
offense
going to the hunting stand.
No
Don't stop and get the burrito before you
Yep.
go to the stand.
and
Coach.
all you'll hear is, they're off.
no offense to Pondo. I love Pondo. I'll do commercials for you, Pondo, so I really will.
That's
At a pretty
great.
affordable rate. But Ludington has outscored opponents this year, 427 to 61. Big Rapids is actually not far off that. I'm going to call that up right now because I was just looking at that.
You're on Michigan-football.com.
I am, which is
an incredible
Well, and
site.
each team has 3 shutouts this year.
375 to 78 is what Big Rapids has outscored teams. So they're both.
So they're very
have both been
evenly-
dominant. Yeah.
Evenly matched
And,
teams.
and again, you look at games like this, and what makes a difference right now are the little things, special teams.
Yeah.
Okay, special teams comes into play so big when you have 2 teams that match up well. This would be like I said, a great regional matchup. Okay, we could see it first round of the district.
And guess what, though? Whoever wins that could very well be on the road in week 2.
At
Possibly
9-0.
possibly Escanaba. Escanaba plays Freeland in another game in that district.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Division 4 is it's a
tough.
gauntlet.
It's
a
very tough.
gauntlet. You know, whoever is in Division 4, I mean, they are all so such strong teams.
Well, Harper Woods, for instance, is 9-0 in Division 4. They beat, I don't want to say they beat up, but they beat Saline, which Saline's Division 1 and one of the best teams in the state, regardless of division.
Yeah.
And they went to Saline and beat them fairly convincingly.
Wow.
And that's a
And they're in
Division 4 school doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. We also have, so we know Ludington and Big Rapids is going to be a tough game.
It is. I like Ludington in that one.
Yeah.
But you better show up because I
Yeah.
saw it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
2 years ago, when Big Rapids played Whitehall, in that I think it was the second or the district final at Holton, and Big Rapids had a great game plan. They executed it well, and they knocked off Whitehall.
Yeah.
Whitehall had high hopes
That's
that
right.
year, thought they were
That's
going to make
right.
a deep run, and Big Rapids just executed very well that game. They got a great coach.
Yeah. I mean, you got to show up. And that's why these programs that have a history of winning playoff games, and the little kids get to watch the older kids do it, and they figure out how to reverse engineer it. That's why it's so hard for the schools that haven't won a state title to do it. Because if you've never seen it done,
Right. What would you say the over and under would be for this game?
I don't know that
Man,
stuff. I'm
Ludington,
not
Big
a Vegas guy.
No, just I'm talking about the total points, from both sides. What would you say that would be? 50, 60,
I mean, Ludington's a potent offense.
So it's Big Rapids.
I
Big
know.
Rapids.
So
I'm going to say, God, I want to say
gonna be a
60, but I'm
shootout?
going to go lower than that.
you'd say, okay, if I said 60, would you go over or under 60?
I'm gonna go on the limb right now and just say over. I think it's over. Maybe that's not even going on the limb to say that.
That's probably what conventional wisdom would tell you. And I
yeah.
don't think
You're
that's
right.
a bad guess.
Exactly. And the other thing is, in a game like this, depending on the weather conditions this time of year, you have to factor in big plays. Okay? And as a defensive coach, you're talking about that all week. Keep them in front of you. Don't allow big plays. We don't want, if we can keep them under 3 plays over 15 yards, okay, we win.
I'll
We
take
win.
the under on it if it's 60, but I'm a little nervous doing that because I've seen what Ludington can do. And I also know that Big Rapids, they know what they're doing over there. So
But you can't deny their defense.
right.
They both have good defense. So it's gonna be. I mean, I'm telling you, who doesn't want to be a fly on the
And Big Rapids isn't
scoreboard for
void
that
of
one?
talent either. They got the Bowman cousins, that Tom Kender wrote a story about for MHSAA.
Right.
I got to find one of them 6'1", 235-pound defensive end, Max, and I think he's the one that's getting like some D1 looks and stuff like that. I thought I saw Central Michigan in there and in the mix somewhere with him
Central's all over.
potentially. So, but then his cousin, I guess, is a force as well. So those two guys.
So they have some. They have clearly.
They have some dudes as well, but
studs.
but you know what, Ludington's they run kind of the veer option with Gunzel back there, and he's got 4 very good receivers that he can distribute the ball to, and sometimes it's not deep route. It's just get him to the ball, get him in space, and let him go.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. When you get teams like this that run the RPOs and things like that, these guys are. If you look at them, it's a quarterback-driven, program.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see quarterbacks, reflect back to 10 years ago around our area, how many great look at the year we had 4 out of the 8 schools from the Muskegon area win state championships. Look at the quarterbacks of those teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Tyree Jackson
And Gunzel,
Sean Thrower.
And Gunzel is a quarterback up in Ludington. he could have played at that. I mean, he's that type of caliber.
He's
of athlete.
in that
He
discussion.
is a state championship caliber quarterback. Okay, because
Brady
he can
Rose.
beat you. Yes, he can beat you.
Yeah.
Well, that year
ways.
it was like 4 on the shore, so it was like Cody Cater, I believe, right? Was
Yep.
it Cater during because it was 2008? I want to
Played
say
college football Division I.
Cody
Yeah.
Cater, Oak Ridge was Potts playing at Oak Ridge then?
Yeah.
Oh my God, just those
Jamie
two quarterbacks
Potts.
alone
Yeah.
Right.
were just studs.
Jamie went and played minor league baseball.
And was Muskegon Catholic was one of them, I think, that won
Well,
it.
and again, I'm not
Then
sure
Muskegon, I
if
believe.
Pimpleton was around or at that time at
You
Muskegon.
had Cam Martinez at Catholic there for
Him and his brother, so it was Christian. Might have been Christian the quarterback then, but still, your point. I mean, it was they.
It's a quarterback-driven.
Yeah.
And when you look at the games on championship Saturday and Friday and Saturday, out of the 16 schools or what is it, going to to play there, out of the 16 schools, I bet more than 50% of them who are seniors will be playing at the next level. Okay?
No, and I want to go back because now it's bothering me. I think that 2008 might even be too long ago for Christian because he's not that old.
Right.
I'm trying to remember
That's
who.
definitely too old for Christian Martinez.
I'm trying to remember who that quarterback
Catholic.
was for Catholic, and it's bothering me. So I'm going to look right now. Well, so you guys chat up because that's just me. I can't. I can't. I can't
Now
live
we're going
with
to
that.
Spring Lake at Godwin Heights. Spring Lake goes in at 6-3. Godwin Heights is, what are they, 8-1, 9-0? I mean, Godwin Heights, I was surprised, and I might be getting their record. My brain sometimes freezes on me, but it seems like Godwin Heights has a good record.
7-2.
Spring Lake, 7-2, yeah.
But they got beat by Belding week 9, 52-20. Okay? And, I mean, Belding, I watched them play against Oak Ridge.
Yeah.
Okay?
What
And,
did Oak Ridge have rushing? We won't mention.
oh, well, again, Oak Ridge, I don't think had a first down in that game till like 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. But then Belding turned around and got beat pretty handily by Reed City, okay, earlier in the year. So, it's very interesting, but Godwin Heights, lost week 2 and lost week 9, but they beat Fruitport 31-30. Okay, and
Fruitport. Right.
and
That
again,
was a good game.
Spring Lake beat Fruitport 42-14. Yeah. Okay, so it's a good matchup. I just wish Spring Lake was playing at home.
Yeah.
But Spring Lake's.
They're a good football team.
I just got to plug this in here because it.
And they got Luke Marsh, former Montague lineman.
Yeah, saw that.
All-star
I got my
college football
dogs from
player.
Marsh Farm.
Marsh, yeah.
Duke and Skipper. I got them from the dairy farm.
Duke always
up there.
gives me
Yeah.
that smile. I got to have him smile at me every time.
Yeah, Luke is teaching and coaching, and he graduated college, so he's having a lot of success down there. at Spring
Real
Lake.
quick, just because I have to, for the record, on the podcast, the quarterback in 2008 at Catholic was Jared Johnson. He was 3 of 5 in that game for 51 yards, but he was the leading rusher, 11 carries for 156 yards and a touchdown. But they beat Crystal Falls Forest Park, I think,
That's
40-0.
Talking about 2008?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the year. That was the 4 on the shore.
Four on the
Yeah,
shore.
but anyhow, Spring
Mesquite
Lake,
County.
they lost Puffer, which no crime in that, and the fact that Puffer's, 2
But
divisions.
they played
bigger.
West Catholic tough.
They did.
Okay,
Which
they
that
played
says
West-
a lot to me.
That was a one-score game. And again, I look back right now, Spring Lake is on a 4-game win streak.
Yep.
Okay, so they really put it together here at like Montague.
They beat up
The second
Gladwin,
half.
but Gladwin's not what they were a few years back when they won the state title a couple years ago. But Gladwin still finished. Well, they finished 5-4. They got in the playoffs, but so they beat them up though. Spring Lake did beat up Gladwin in week 2, and lost to Puffer week 3. Tight game with Grand Rapids Christian, which is always strong. Tight game with West Catholic, obviously always strong. Just had a shootout with Forest Hills Eastern, 57-43.
Well, and again, Forest Hills Eastern just came in and beat Reese Puffer.
Right.
So that's all. And they scored 57 points.
What's
on
consistent for the most part is that Spring Lake has scored a lot of points.
the last
Yeah.
3 games.
They've given up a lot, but they've scored a lot.
Yeah, the last 3 games combined, they've averaged over 50 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, so that's going to be
that's Division 4.
that's Division 4.
Yep, and Godwin, just one thing on them too. I mean, one of their losses is to 9-0 Kent City, 16-6. That's one of their 2 losses. And of course, he already mentioned
Yeah.
Belding.
Well, we don't make the picks here. We just let people know the basics and filling it in, and they get to interpret it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I do got to give a little shout out at Spring Lake, the Smize brothers, leading at the tackles on the LSJ.
Those guys tackle anything that begins with the letter A. A train, a dog, a human, anything that starts with the letter A, those brothers will tackle it. Okay?
So kind of cool to see two. I mean, how often do you see two brothers at the top of a leaderboard list?
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it?
And
it
they're
is
competitive
Smize, is that how you pronounce
with each
it?
other.
I think it's Smize.
Smize have eyes for the ball carrier.
Yeah, I like that.
That's pretty cheesy, but okay,
yeah,
I'm
right?
sorry. Can you cut that out?
The Smize will make you cry.
Let's see, Division 5.
Here we go.
Whitehall gets to be a host with Howard City Tri-County. Whitehall 5-4.
They're 5-4.
5-4 coming in as a host.
As is Howard City.
Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously,
But,
you know,
Whitehall's losses, though. I mean, the Oak Ridge game, Oak Ridge came back on them in the second
Yeah.
half. They
Yeah.
lost to Ludington 32-7.
yeah.
They lost
Would you call that an upset? That was a fun one this year. We got
on paper, probably. This year, probably. Well, maybe not. That's maybe not fair. Traditionally, no.
Yeah.
But in recent history, yes, because Whitehall's been dominant against Oak Ridge in the recent years.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, too, when Oak Ridge beat Whitehall, Oak Ridge was just coming off that Belding game. Okay?
Well, yeah, Oak Ridge played Belding the next week
Okay.
because they were really.
And Whitehall right now has lost 3 of their last 4
Yes.
games of the season.
well, one was to Portland, the last game, and we
Right.
know how
It's
good
very
Portland
good.
is.
But you know what got them Whitehall in the playoffs, though, really solidified that was that week 3 win over Zeeland West. Who saw that coming?
right.
That was a huge win for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they were up 28-0 in that game, I believe, or 21-0. I want to say 21-0.
And again, if Whitehall wins, looks like they're going to be doing some traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying if Whitehall wins, that's where they're going.
More than likely. Saginaw, yeah.
Yeah, so
Swan Valley.
they get the winner of Clare and Swan Valley, which
Yeah.
probably Swan Valley, but who knows?
Right.
And Tri-County's coming off, I know 2 straight losses anyway, because they lost to Kent City in a close one, and then Ludington kind of took it to them a little bit last
they
week.
did.
I mean, Big Rapids put 63 points on Howard City.
Yeah.
Okay? 63 up on them. I'm like, I don't know.
Whitehall should have a good chance. I like their odds in that one.
And the projection was like by Snooze before this week, and maybe even going into this week before the actual matchups came out.
Yeah.
They had them playing against Oak Ridge.
Well, and I really like, I know Whitehall lost defensive coordinator Kyle Stratton. Okay, or Keith.
Keith, yeah.
Keith, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Kyle's dad.
and again, Kyle McGrew, who's been a part of that staff, and he's in the building teaching.
Yep.
He's been a part of that staff for a few years now. He took over as defensive coordinator. I like him. I think he has grown and developed into a great football coach, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him take over as a head coach somewhere sometime
Yeah.
in the future. But with him taking over as defensive coordinator, I'm excited for him. I like watching how he how he game plans. And I'm excited to see what he does with Whitehall.
And did you get to see much of Cordy Anderson, then number 10 for them? He's a kid that's
Yes.
committed to Ferris.
Yes.
He's a load. He's a handful. When Ludington beat Whitehall 32-7, but one of the first things Charlie Gunzel said is we just didn't have an answer for him. We just couldn't stop him. We had to,
He's a playmaker.
yeah.
I mean, he's a playmaker.
He's a big
Well,
kid,
and-
strong kid, athletic.
Brings a lot to the table,
Yeah.
and he's consistent.
He's a great kid too.
He was a big part of when Whitehall played their rival Montague.
Yeah.
I mean, that ended up being a tight game.
13-6 or something like that. Yeah.
And I know Cordy had a lot of pressure on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then our other game in
Division
D5,
5, yep.
no doubt, this is a rematch. It seems we see a lot of at
Third
the
straight
end of
year
the season.
these teams facing off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Oak Ridge,
and West.
Grand Rapids West Catholic.
Yeah.
I got to give a shout out to Coach Tim Parker over there. I know it's his first year at Oak Ridge as the official head coach. Obviously, he's been playing Oak Ridge football since he was in diapers, I'm pretty sure. He grew up with Kerry Harger. And so, Tim has done an excellent job. And I love the guy because he sends me his stats.
That's all that matters.
It's all. I mean, send us your
Well,
stat. I mean, no, we
there-
like the cooperation, but it makes our life on a Friday night when we're covering all these teams, okay, and we're in the trenches because Scott knows.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who covers football knows on a Friday night you are absolutely in the trench, and when you're talking about we have 27 teams to be accountable for.
Right.
This is hard work. And the minute their game is done, he texts me their stats.
It's
Well,
him?
he
Tim
gets it.
himself.
And he
sends it to me.
He's one of those coaches who gets
He's
it.
a great
Like,
guy.
like even after a loss, a tough loss, like they lost to Ravenna. Ravenna had
Yeah.
a great comeback, but right away he's sending stats in.
The guy is
He just understands how it works, and he's just trying to help the best
Yeah.
he can.
Well,
He-
he promotes his kids.
He does.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's all about that. You know, as have all of all those guys. Jack.
I think that was a very good selection,
Yeah.
selecting him as their head coach.
But you know what? It's the culture. Mm-hmm. And the culture understands the culture.
Yep.
When you have good leaders. And Oak Ridge has had a great culture. And when it comes to football, and it's a tight community. And, I'm just still waiting for my invite, to the yacht club out there. So,
we all are.
To the Wolf Lake Yacht Club?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
know.
but back to Oak Ridge real quick. They got to be getting tired of getting shipped to West Catholic, Grandpa's Catholic. It's like, come on, guys.
Right. Give us
a break.
Throw us a bone.
Well, when you look at West Catholic losing week 1, okay, to Grand Rapids Northview, then going on an 8-game win streak, they really put it all together, and I mean, not just at the second half of the season, they learned game 1 what they needed to change, made some changes, adjustments,
Yeah.
whether it's in schemes or personnel, and boom.
Yeah, I
8-game
mean,
win
I was
streak.
there for week 1 against Orchard View and for that Hull Road rival game. And I mean, I was impressed for their week 1 performance. I thought they looked like an Oak Ridge team. And that was a fun game to be at, to just be a part of that, that rivalry and watch it. And it's good to see these. I love the rivalries are coming back. I thought this season we saw a lot of great rivalries come back.
And I would say, if you look at West Catholic scores, which a lot of times you got to look a lot deeper than scores, but
Right.
it's not like Oak Ridge going over there is it insurmountable. No, they could beat them.
Absolutely.
But it's going to take a big effort. It's going to take a really big effort. But
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Two good programs.
Yeah, and you
They
don't
both
wanna go-
won state titles.
You don't want to be too cliche, but yeah, that's why you go over there and you play it. 'Cause
Yeah.
you just don't know what might happen.
Yeah, I mean Oak Ridge fans, they're going to have fun. I mean, they're going to be there, and yeah. Moving on to Division 6 now, right?
That's correct.
We have a 5-4 Montague team going to Central Montcalm. Montague has a new coach, Coach Hoops.
Yep. Coach
Coops.
Coops. Yeah.
Coops,
Coach Coops.
yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, it's a. This is a crapshoot game.
This is a very winnable game for them,
Yeah.
I believe.
I-
I really think that they got a pretty good draw for being 5-4. And granted, when they started 1-4, because I had seen them against Oak Ridge in week 2, I'm like, this isn't. I don't think your typical 1-4 team. I think they're better than that because they
Yeah.
were close in a couple of those
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
And I think they were adjusting to the new coach. New coach was adjusting to them and the community.
Yeah.
And Phil Coops moved to the community right away. I heard when he got the job, he moved to Montague right away. So he's invested in it, and I think they're responding to him. They're obviously not world beaters, but they're still a very solid, pretty strong team, and I like them in this matchup. And if
Coops
they
was
win that,
baptized into the LSJ a little bit because I kept asking him for his rosters. We need your rosters. Get us your rosters. And he's like, what is this roster business? I haven't even named my team yet. I said, Coach, this is coming out, and you're one of 3 teams that don't have their rosters in here yet. So, do you want to be one of those guys? Get me your names.
he's coming from Hamilton, Grand Rapids area school, where maybe he didn't get that kind of coverage before. I don't know.
Again, you talk about you walk into schools with tradition. There's a prime example of you're coming to a school that has some serious football credibility.
Yes.
Okay, so you inherit a lot of responsibility, and it's not just up between the lines.
Yeah.
It encompasses
It's a culture.
the program.
It's you
Okay.
eat and breathe it. It's
Yes.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes, and I remember my broadcast partner Matt Chapkus. After week 5, he predicted and told me that he thought that Montague would go the rest of the way in the schedule and not lose a game.
He called it.
Yeah,
He called it.
and he
Wow.
did. And again, they just seem to. And I talked to a couple parents from down there. The Pendle, the linebacker, his dad Joel, and he said the kids are grasping his philosophy,
Right.
and you can see it.
Yep.
Because now things are sharper. I mean, the kids are moving quicker because they understand.
You're not thinking as much.
They're
You're just
playing
reacting.
faster because now it's they understand.
It's more second nature. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Become
exactly.
unconscious for 'em.
And so that's kind of what's happening here when you get a new coach. You know, they get the calls, they get the checks, they get the
And
assignments.
I just in this matchup too, I just think Montague's very battle tested.
I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a great game.
Then the winner gets the winner of Reed City, Sanford Meridian, which you would think probably Reed City, but you just don't know. But again, I mean, Montague's run into Reed City in recent years, and they've had their hands full a lot, more, a couple times in that matchup. But again, you just want an opportunity to play that game,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll just see if the West Michigan Conference has tested these guys, these kids, and prepared them for football. And that's what we want. That's what we love about the WMC is it tests and prepares for postseason.
Yeah, but again, like you said, we look at where they're going, and if they pull this one out, where are they? Where does Montague go?
The winner of Sanford Meridian and Reed City.
Reed City, okay.
So again, Reed City, Reed City beat up or beat Belding. I don't know if they beat them up, but they beat Belding, which is a big win. But again, you take your chances. You hope to get to that spot, and you take your chances. And let's see if we can pull this one off too. Playing for a trophy at that stage. So
Yeah. That brings us to Division 6 now. Or no, we're in Division 6.
7.
Kent City.
No, 6. We got Kent City yet.
Oh,
Yep.
okay, Kent City.
This is one of those teams that we were talking before. We know Kent City because how do you not? When we have a lot of friends in Kent City. Krisha Wainwright is a huge friend of ours for the LSJ. She shoots tons of photos of Kent City. You got just a great Mary Wilson is another one out there that shoots cross country for us. And she
Jason
goes all
Vogel,
over.
he's been good.
Yeah.
So I know he's been good to me over the years. I've known him since my Kalamazoo Gazette days.
But I think we're kind of shocked by Kent City and what they've done this year. Their quarterback, is it Mead?
Andre Mead.
Andre Mead, he's a senior, 6'3", 230, going to Grand Valley.
Yeah.
And
He's a load.
he is a wide loaded, lot to handle. Kent City comes in at 9-0.
It's funny though. Like I saw a picture of their coin toss last week. They played. They played
like
Grant.
popcorn.
And you got the Grant players here. You got the Kent City players, and then Mead, and then the other Kent City players. It just looked like a freaking monster out there.
Yeah.
It was like Gunzo's other son.
Yeah.
He was like 6'8".
Wilson Gunzel. Yeah, he's an assistant coach for Lexington. He's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
He's like
Yeah.
6'8". I'm like,
I was up there week 2 handing out papers, at Mason County Central for that game, and the Guns will walk by, and
Was it Wilson?
He
The
was
brother?
real tall,
Yeah.
and I hand him the paper, and he said, "Oh, yeah, that's my brother on the front."
He's always smiling too.
Yeah, he's
Wilson
just-
is always smiling. He seems like a really nice kid, man. Well, he's not a kid anymore, but
yeah,
really nice guy.
He walked by me when he was playing, and he just, I go, "Hey, Lurch, come here." Good kid.
The younger audience
He is.
doesn't know about
He's a nice dude.
Lurch, the Adams family, but so
Google
they're
it.
playing Olivet.
They're playing Olivet, which that's a tough draw, man. I mean, Olivet, like, again, dating myself, but way back in my college
Right.
days, way back, I covered Olivet a bit, and I know that's a long time ago, but they played a pretty solid schedule, and they're 8-1. Their one loss is to Portland, 35-0 in week 3.
Well, that's anticipated.
And they beat Lansing Catholic 34-10. I think Lansing Catholic's down this year. So there's that. They beat Lansing Sexton, which has been fairly decent in recent seasons. They beat them 34-25. So that's a tough matchup for Kent City. Not to say they can't win, but they got their. But you're 9-0, and you got to hit the road in the first round
playoffs.
too.
It's the playoffs.
There's one thing I like about, that stands out with Kent City, with me, okay? He returned all 11 starters defensively.
That's incredible.
That is unbelievable. It's unheard of. Okay, so there's so much more you can do defensively when these kids learn the system and understand it, and to where you can take them, with that next.
It's like, where do you think they're hanging
year.
their hat, right? When
Absolutely.
going into the year.
I mean the blitz packages and coverages that you can do. Most high schools run maybe 3 coverages.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 coverages, and they'll do a couple stunts and blitzes off the corners, the edges and stuff. But to double cover, to roll up, to just all the different things that you can do. And it's like having a quarterback for 3 years.
Right.
There's so much more you can teach a quarterback. Clock management, 2-minute offense. You can take it so much farther with what you can teach. It's like having math as a 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grader. What you're teaching them as 9th graders in math is nothing like what you're teaching them as a senior. So that's big.
Zach Gropp, their coach, was able to get a huge jump start. On that, especially on that defensive side, because everyone's back.
Yeah.
You can install so much more, and there's so much more. To your point, the knowledge they've already had, that coming in where you're not having it. Well, we got to,
Now-
like you talked about
the interesting thing is, when you look at their stats, they're balanced.
Mm-hmm.
They spread the wealth. They've had games where
it has to do with where the other team can attack them. It's not spreading the wealth. It's about like, you're not going to beat us here. You're not going to beat us here, but you pound on every door as an offensive coordinator, trying to find a chink in the armor to beat them. It's just there's nothing there.
but even on offense, they're that way too, right?
Right.
Kansas City
Yeah, they
is.
spread it out.
Like even
I
on
mean,
offense, they're that way too.
they'll have 8 guys rush the ball in a game.
Yep.
And
good stuff.
yeah. So that's going to be a great game, and it's at Olivet. So
And then they get the winner of that one gets the winner of Ovid LC Belding.
shoot.
That's a tough one too. Like especially if Belding comes out on
Right.
top there. That's
I'm going to tell you what, with watching Belding's offense, I'm betting on Kent City. Okay?
All right.
Because Reed City shut down Belding. Okay? And I can tell you right now, with 11 people coming back on defense, that's exactly that. You win championships with defense. So.
All right. Moving on. D7. Ravenna gets in at 4-5.
Do you want to sing the Ravenna fight song? Fight on, Bulldogs.
it's funny because I covered, did some photos for some parents for the JV, and they went 9-0, and they had their kids singing the fight song for them. The middle school also went 9-0 or 6-0. They only played 6 games. But they had to sing the fight song as well, but the coach kind of had to guide them along because they're still learning the words to that fight song. But, they drew Puamo, which that's
Tough.
not to say you can't win the game. It's just a very tough ask, though, just because Puamo's big and strong. And
Right. We
they
saw
beat,
what
they
they
beat
did
up
to
North
North
Muskegon
Muskegon.
35-6 in the opener
Yeah.
at North Muskegon. Not to
First
say you
week.
can't win it.
Right. That's
but
week 1. A lot of teams can change, I guess, over a season.
And Ravenna's battle tested, too.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like Montague, and I covered that Ravenna-Montague game last week,
Yeah.
and Ravenna was up 17-7 the first half, could have been more. Got the kickoff to start the second half. Kid returned it to midfield and coughed it up. Montague scores, touchdown to pull closer. Ravenna gets the ball back 3 or 4 plays later, fumble. Montague drives and scores again to take the lead. Ravenna gets the ball back again, throws a pick. Montague scores and goes up 28-17. Ravenna goes down and scores with 3.5 minutes left, pulls within 3. Montague basically puts the game away, but then they fumble on 3rd down, deep in Ravenna territory. Ravenna picks up, tries to scoop and score, gets tackled after about 5-10 yards. They get in Montague territory, but there's a pick to end the game. So they beat Oak Ridge the week before in a rally.
Yeah.
So they're dangerous. I would say that for sure. They're a dangerous team.
The Oak
but
Ridge win probably got them into the playoffs.
Yeah, oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
they got to win. They still had to win, their games they won.
Absolutely.
But that Oak Ridge win helped.
And they've lost so many
the point
close.
system.
They've lost so many close games this year too.
Right.
No, I'm a Justin Eagle fan. I like Coach Eagle.
Yeah.
And I
Went to
think-
Catholic, right? He's a Catholic guy.
Yep. And
Yeah.
I've spent many years at Muskegon with the Big Reds.
Yep.
Yeah.
And boy, he's no stranger to playoffs. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and he's coached in a lot of big games, so this is he's very much comfortable.
And they're playing that
With
one
the
Saturday,
postseasons.
1:00 Saturday on that one
Are they?
at Puamo.
Are they really?
Yep.
I got to write that down on my notes.
You don't hear too many Saturday games.
Well, North
Round
Muskegon
one.
got switched to Saturday.
They're also
Right.
playing Saturday.
Yeah. Next up is Shelby at Leroy Pine River. Shelby coming in at 5-4. Phil Fortier, we got to be in a pie eating contest. Well, no, pie judge contest up at the Apple Food Festival. Not the Apple Food.
And he
It's just
cheated.
the
How
Apple
can you do
Festival.
that?
the Apple Festival up at Silver Lake, and so we sat next to each other, and with what's our guy from Shelby, Griffin, right? Paul.
Yeah.
Paul was in town. You know, Paul's probably played how many years in the NBA?
13.
13 years.
I believe something like that.
Me, Coach Fortier, and Paul Griffin.
And Big Daddy Butler.
And we're judges for the pie eating contest. I mean, they were good pies.
I got to get you up there to be a judge.
Yeah. Well, you're diabetic, aren't you? Can you eat that many pies? I'm not lying. It's a lot of pies. It's a lot of pies.
It is like 20
I just keep thinking about the Stand By Me, the puking scene when they have the pie eating contest.
Those are blueberry pies.
I know.
Those blueberry. These are apple. Apple.
Yeah, but you
I
did
love
have a chance
blueberry
to
pie,
talk to
though.
him.
Yeah.
Of course. And so I love Phil. Shelby, obviously, they have their quarterback. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name right now.
Well, they got two of them, Garcia,
Yep.
Isaac Garcia, and then Henderson.
Henderson was big against Orchard View.
And Henderson's a big boy, too.
Yeah.
He's a really good athlete.
If you've seen some of his highlights, I mean, that kid can really weave his way through the defense. You know, he's a good athlete, and he's big.
It's my understanding Shelby's pretty banged up. I don't know the extent of things, but so that's unfortunate.
season.
That's unfortunate. And again, they'll have a shot against Pine River. I think that's a good matchup for them. But
What's Pine River's record going in?
I want to say
6-3.
6-3. So.
Yep.
But again, I don't think their schedule is a world beater schedule either, Pine
Right.
Rivers. So I think that's again where Shelby helps them. Now Shelby's coming off 2 straight losses, a tough game at Mason County 26-22, and then they lost to OV like we discussed earlier,
Yeah.
35-34.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But, you know, they've had, they came in and they beat North Muskegon.
Lost to them by 3, but they were right there. They had
They're
a chance.
right there. So
Yep.
they've been snake bitten. So, you know, they're gonna have to figure out how to pull it out in the
Yep.
playoffs.
Yep.
But coming in against Pine River will be good.
Well, and let me say this: you look at coaches, okay, and you go, man, they had a great record. So obviously, man, that coach had a great year. Let me tell you something: some coaches, their best coaching jobs are not when they have a winning season or they go undefeated. Some of their best coaching jobs are when they don't have the talent and what they get out of those kids. Okay,
Right.
That's when I remember when we went over and played when I was with Roan. Dan, we went over and I was his defensive coordinator, and we played a team and we got beat like the second round. Okay, and we got beat in a fairly close game. It was like 30-24. And I went up to him after the game, and he was talking to me, and I sat there for a minute. I said, "I want to tell you something. This is probably, in high school." This is probably one of the best jobs of coaching I've ever seen by a staff, okay? Because the overall talent on this team is very average. And what we got out of these kids was unbelievable. So I look at some of the records here, and guys are in at 5-4, and guys, may have a losing record. Hey, let me tell you something. You don't know what they did with that group of kids.
Well, I've heard that said by coaches before too. Some of their better coaching jobs are maybe the years that others might not think.
You would not assume that this was an unbelievable. You go 9-0. Guess what? But when you go 2-7, okay, and you look at who's out there on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching a kid. I don't want to say this name, and I don't even want to say the program. He put somebody out there to play linebacker. Okay, because somebody got hurt. The kid went on the field, lined up in the right position across from the guard, about 3.5 yards off line of scrimmage, and got in a 3-point stance. Now, don't laugh, okay? But I'm like, this guy's a trendsetter. I saw a kid line up in a linebacker position in a 3-point stance. You know what I mean? And I've seen some crazy things. Yeah. But when you look at what some of these coaches have done with what the cards are dealt, it's
And again,
unbelievable.
records can be misleading too.
Absolutely.
In ways. So like, there's at least 2, probably more, 3 and 6 teams that have gotten in the playoffs. And there's some 4 and 5 teams, but I always tell the story when I was down in Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo Christian was 9-0, and they played 5-4 Montague. And being from the Muskegon area, I was still proud of Muskegon area football. I'm like, guys, I was telling everyone I knew, don't count this as a win. You're going to have to work your butt off for this. It was 35-0 at halftime, Montague. Montague running clock that team, that 9-0 team. Because they didn't know what they were getting into, maybe. And again, maybe that's not fair to Christian to say they didn't know that. Maybe it's just other factors. Maybe Montague just flat out better. They looked a lot better that day.
I remember Montague back in 2019 went down and played Schoolcraft in the playoffs at Schoolcraft, and it was.
Was that the Mud Bowl?
Yes, that was the Mud Bowl.
Mud Bowl.
And what did Pat
Holy
Collins
cow.
do? He took his quarterback out, okay, and moved him to another position, put Bryce Stark back at shotgun, and ran nothing but isolation.
Wildcat.
We're going here, we're going there, and you know what? They took care of business in the Mud Bowl right there.
You know what was cool after that, too?
I
don't
took
know if you
those
remember
photos
this or
that
not.
game.
So, and right after that game,
Yeah.
Jeff Stark, his dad, took his uniform to the car wash. And Montague pinned it on those pins where you can pin your mats.
Oh, yeah.
And just sprayed it off, and it worked. Cleaned that jersey right up.
That's
I
his
still
dad.
remember seeing that video and those
I'm
photos.
surprised you let Bryce get out of it.
No, it was Jeff doing it. It wasn't Bryce doing it.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope Shelby represents himself well and the kids enjoy the experience.
Hey,
and
you know what?
You know, if they're banged up.
When we started the LSJ in 2012, Shelby was undefeated. They made it all the way to the state semifinals back-to-back years, and then they went over for how many years? So to see Shelby competing again, because there's a dark valley in there, you know, where you had what was Lorenzo, you know.
And to your point, let me just say this, okay? The last 4 years, Shelby has won combined, the last 4 years, 11 games.
11.
Okay? 2, 2, 3, and 4 this year. Okay?
5 this
From
year.
2015, yeah. No, because they won, what, 4 games this year?
They're 5-4.
Okay.
5 and 4.
Okay, so now you go back to 2015, 0 wins, 16, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. You know what I mean?
It was a dark valley. I mean, I couldn't believe it because, you know, it's like when we came on the scene, LSJ, after the Chronicle got rid of us all, and we came on the scene, and it's like Shelby, and it was a great story with Lorenzo and how he became the coach, and all of a sudden they're going to the semis, you know, and it was like kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He was a coach that I mean, he wasn't a teacher. He was worked on staff.
He was a computer guy.
But
Okay.
it was a great story, and but then
And now he's actually working in Grand Haven.
oh
Okay, and coaching at Muskegon. You know,
okay,
so-
yeah, okay. I thought I did see him in a picture. That's
Yep,
great.
Yep. So
what a
he's
great
he's
guy.
over there. I don't know if he's working with the safeties or you
Yeah.
know, what he's doing there.
What a
but-
good dude.
But you know, it's a good teacher. Loves the game of football and loves kids that play football. So, but yeah, actually, when Phil Fortier was working in Manistee, and I'm the one went up there and got him and say, you need to come down here and
For the Sabres.
you know.
Manistee Catholic.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where he
It's
was
his alma
at.
mater. Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
So
He was also at Big Rapids.
yep, yeah, he was over at Big Rapids too. So and he was at Hart, you know, for a number of years.
You know, how can you not like Phil Fortier?
guy is just what a great guy.
Yeah, I
And,
like impersonating because he always goes like this.
He does. He was even on some TikToks. He even
Yeah.
put himself out there being on TikToks just to amuse his players, like a year or two ago, whenever
Oh,
that
yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll have fun. He'll have fun. The kids they enjoy playing.
Yeah.
All right.
Our final game. You got Coach Witham's North Muskegon Norsemen coming in at 6-3, and they're going to be hosting Saranac. Saranac has about an hour drive west, straight west almost, just outside of Grand Rapids.
And they can't get here on Friday night. They'll be playing that game on Saturday.
Yep.
Saturday at 1 p.m.
And actually, Saranac, North Muskegon, that's, sorry. Oh my God, I'm going to put these on now. I knocked them down. I got to put them on, I guess. All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't read my screen now, but
You look like Rex Ryan. Don't worry.
you would really look like him if you put them on. Wouldn't you? Look like Rex Ryan? Anyway,
We ran into Rex Ryan.
I know.
And you know that the Ryans had one of their grandkids was coaching him for the Lumberjacks.
wow.
Yeah, just a couple years ago.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so North Muskegon, it's in that same district as the Ravenna Puamo. So the winner of North Muskegon Saranac gets the winner.
It's a very non-typical year for North Muskegon because they gave up a lot of points defensively all year. Okay, and I mean they've been. I don't know if it's because of injuries okay, and are underclassmen.
Well, they lost a lot off
man,
that
they
defense
lost
last
a
year.
ton.
Well, I mean, look what Kent City's going to go through next year, losing 11 starters on defense. You know, you say, well, you know, but North Muskegon right now, they've given up, you know, I don't know what their average is, but I'd be willing to guess it's in the upper 20s, low 30s a game, okay? And that's tough when you're putting that kind of pressure on your offense to come through. And Saranac, you know, the last 5 games, you know, they've been putting up some serious points here. You know, they're up right around 30 points a game. So, you know, they're coming off a shutout last week, and week 7, they had a shutout against Genesee, and week 9 against White Cloud. And then they beat Bath 22-14 in week 8. So, you know, they played pretty tough down the stretch here. In fact, after week 3, they've won 6 games in a row now. So,
And they have a common opponent, Pewamo Westphalia.
yep.
As we said, in week 1, Pewamo won at North Muskegon 35-6, and then the next week, Pewamo was at home and beat Saranac 52-0. So, but, you know, North Muskegon on offense has 3 really key playmakers back from
Bryce
last year's
Colbert,
team.
their
Quarterback
quarterback.
Bryce, Colbert, Colin Bartos, kind of the all-around playmaker.
Bartos is an athlete.
He's
Yeah.
already got an offer from Northwood, I believe. And then they got Hunter Wilder, big running back for them. So they've got, you know, some nice pieces there. And but yeah, they lost a lot off that defense from last year, but they were in the semifinals the last 2 years. So, you know, the question is, can they make it back again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's
Good
great.
stuff.
It's super exciting. You
Kick
know,
off this week.
What's that?
Kicking it off this week.
Kicking it off, and we're going to find out who's the legend, who is going to be the kid that makes the name for himself in the playoffs this week, and I can't wait to find out. And,
I will be at the Whitehall game, 98.3 at
you and Matt
6
Shepkes. Don't try to spell his last name.
TJ. APKES.
Yes, I've known him since I was a little kid.
Oh my, what'd you call him?
Wally.
Wally.
Yeah.
One of the world's greatest was he a trombone player?
Trombone player, yeah.
Yep.
He's very, yeah. And we were in chamber choir together, so he's a good singer too. Yeah, good guy. Yeah, known him a long time.
He's actually the week before, is it the regional games? He goes to the UP and broadcasts 8-man finals.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
Cool. And again, just to restate it, I'll be up in Ludington, you know, covering for the LSJ.
Yep.
I'll be doing game stories,
what
some
a
photos,
great game that's going
and
to
some
be.
video.
Yeah.
And of
What's
course,
the weather look like so far? I know we're only in, Tuesday.
I look like up in Ludington, it's supposed to start the game at like 47, but it's going to probably get quite a bit colder than that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the sun is setting before kickoff now or close to it. So it's going to be, once that sun sets too, and when you're coming, especially there by the lake, you're like, what, a block or two from the lake,
Right.
from Lake Michigan. You can hear Lake Michigan roaring in the background when you're standing on Oriole Field. But of course, I'll have a full belly from Pondo.
Pondo Pit. And we'll have
Can't state that
photos.
enough.
You're going to get photos. And if your camera works,
Yeah.
you'll have some video. Obviously, we're going to have lots of photos from Muskegon and Mona Shores being local. We're going to have the Van Sickles. Scott and Amanda are going to be up at Whitehall covering that game together. And we'll have Leo Valdez over at North Muskegon, and you might be there too. Are you going
might be there as
you gonna
well.
be able to get up
When they
that
come
early?
out, when they come out with the Leo Valdez? When they come out with Leo's life story, make a movie of I heard Danny DeVito is going to be
You're gonna play
playing
his
him.
name, yeah.
That's
yeah,
the
he's
guy.
playing his
That's who we're
character.
playing.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting. You know
great choice.
Leo's got a great story. I mean, that guy has grown up from. I mean, what a great family. You know, his dad was a businessman, but they all worked so hard, and Leo had his own acre of asparagus growing up that he had to take care of. So he had to convince his friends to help him harvest it. Leo has all these random stories.
So there's an
you know?
asparagus queen. Is there an asparagus king?
Right.
And would
Yes,
he be
well,
it?
it's Leo.
God
It's Leo.
bless Leo.
Leo.
The eighth wonder of the world.
He is eighth
know?
wonder of the world. He served our country, and he's serving the LSJ. I mean, that guy is. Where do you want me Where do you want me tomorrow? Where do you want me today? Where do you want me in an hour? He'll send it.
I
He's a
love
machine.
his creed that he lived by: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happy hour.
Yeah, Leo doesn't drink at all, actually, which is very interesting. He just likes to hang out with a lot of people.
He does. He can eat.
He's a life of the party.
Yeah.
He is a lot of fun, and
I've seen him up at the Apple Festival.
have you?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, there's a lot of food up there.
That's all there is.
You cannot eat.
He wasn't a
when you go up
judge.
there.
He wasn't a judge for that pie eating contest, Leo.
I overlooked him. I don't know how. You know? Yeah, Leo, we should get Leo in there.
Oh
See,
yeah.
you and Leo see eye to eye, like literally, right?
Yeah. Leo and I, we walk around arms around each other. You know?
But yeah, well, these road games are, these road trips are a little bit harder to get our local photographers to go out there. But, I got to give a shout out to the LSJ staff and what we've been able to do so far this fall. And, guys like you and the Van Sickles and Ron Rops and the Dave Harts and the Trevor Austins and Tom Kendras, and I mean, there's so many in the photographers.
Great team.
It's a great team. You
Great team.
got Craig Smith. Who's actually was a guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. He is our photographer at Muskegon. He goes to all those games. You got Melvin Lane going to Muskegon games. You got Eric Sturr shooting photos. He loves Mona Shores.
Those guards, did you ever read the history on the guards at the Unknown Tomb? They cannot drink alcohol for a year or ever. I can't remember what it is. But it's a commitment that you live in a barracks when you're doing it. You should Google it. It's unbelievable how disciplined those guards and what they have to sign up to do.
Yeah.
Do an article on it.
Craig and I have talked about it. It's just about the timing of it, and because you want it to really be impactful. For people to understand, our country is served by a group of people who are you think these athletes are extraordinary. Our men and women that defend our country are extraordinary, and Craig Smith is, he's got a great story.
I'm telling you, find out when you sign up to do that, there's a list of like 20 things that you can do and 20 things that you cannot do. Okay, and it is.
They can't be on the LSJ podcast with Mike Taylor. I heard that.
First off, they're not old enough.
Well, I mean, we talk about Christian Wainwright out there. It's just been such a fun season. You got David Reed is at North Muskegon. He's actually a pilot for, I think, Delta. Is it David? Don't hold me accountable on that. I can't remember. But he's a pilot, commercial pilot. And he shoots North Muskegon stuff for us. So
Dr. Riley, right?
Dr. Riley, obviously, he is
Riley?
at the top. Dr. Riley gets to go shoot Notre Dame games. But then we got these guys that are just, they're filling in. You got Vaughn Stevens from Grand Rapids. You got Clyde Sanders. Clyde's we got him to go to all the Grand Valley games. Yeah. It's.
Like I said, when you put out a good product, everybody wants to get on board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's how you're supported, and when you see how you guys are structured from top to bottom, that is why you have people coming out of the woodwork wanting to be a part of it. Okay, because you have taken it a lot farther than most people thought it would ever go. Okay. And I'll tell you right now,
we're on year 14.
It's only going to get bigger. Okay, and what the program you put on in the spring is phenomenal.
We're excited about that. We were just talking about that today. And
yeah. And so it surprises me not at all where you guys have gone with this thing, and the sky's the limit. Yeah, the sky's the limit.
I believe that this local sports scene is very unique, and I do call it the world's greatest local sports scene. And the reason why I love this scene so much is because we all know each other. And we battle each other week in, week out, and then when we leave high school, we're all friends. And that's what's just so fun about this community. It's it's a competitive camaraderie. And
you have the same passions.
Yeah.
You have the same passions. And to become united as a team after high school, and social media is just, gone through the roof.
Yeah, it's super amazing to see the local response to things, and that's where we're getting these photographers. Tim Smith is another guy that comes in and shoots photos for us, and it's just a testament of our scene here, and this is a unique place.
Yep.
And you know, I mean, it's not every day I get to sit at at the pub with Coach Taylor.
And where I'm vertical. Where I'm upright, yes. Appreciate you having me on, fellas.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting.
Thanks for hosting us, Coach. We got to give a shout out to our guy Trent Elfinar. He's in the back, working the cameras and the mics, and he's just a great kid. He was in my nephew's class, and great kid. And his grandpa taught with my dad. So it's a small world, isn't it?
Trent's feared by men and loved by women, so it says it all.
That's right. You got a chuckle out of it. That's the first time I heard him the whole time.
Old 80-proof Trent.
Well, guys, this has been a lot of fun. Second annual, we'll call it the Legends. What are we going to call it?
Playoff preview.
Yeah, Legends Playoff Preview. LSJ Legends Playoff Preview. We're honored to be able to do this. This is super fun. These kids work their butts off, and that's what we're here trying to continue to promote and highlight their hard work. And best of luck to all these kids. Best of luck
And
to
coaches.
and coaches.
A lot of time and effort and hard work has gone into, what you're seeing. And after the regular season, now here we go into the playoffs and roll the dice. Anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. And
Ford Field.
that's right. That's what we're going for, right? All right, guys.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Good night, everyone.